guys, and welcome back to the CFC Chat YouTube channel. This is, of course, the review of the Spurs game, which we did comfortably win 1-0. I mean, although on paper it looks like we won the game because of a penalty, it wasn't the case. I think we completely dominated the game and deserved a lot more goals, to be honest. And I think that was a really good victory. Of course, beating Spurs is always is always great, right? Especially when they have Jose Mourinho as their manager, and especially when it's not going well for them. That's when it's the most fun as a Chelsea fan to beat Tottenham. So I think that Jose Mourinho still hasn't beaten Chelsea as Tottenham boss. Surprise, surprise. But deep down, he is a Chelsea man. You guys do know that. But anyway, I think moving on to the review of the game. Of course, on paper, Jorginho did score the only goal of the game, which was from the penalty spot. But if we look at our expected goals tally, then I think we could have scored a lot more. And I really think that we need to work on our shooting and we need to work on our decision making in the final third, because during the game we saw so many instances where we created such slick chances, such slick passing moves, and it was beautiful movement off the ball to make the moves happen. But I think we couldn't convert most of our chances, and we afforded them. Basically, the only chance which I can think of which we afforded Spurs was that Carlos Vinicius header. I think was it around the 80th minute mark. But of course he could not finish. But apart from that, I think we had an excellent game together as a team. Of course, Tuchel's third game in charge, third consecutive clean sheet, 7 points out of a possible 9, and all against low block sides. So this is something that we have struggled against in the past, beating these low block sides. But in his first game, well, you can't even count that as his first game, but the Wolves game, it was a 0-0 draw, and then we beat Burnley 2-0 and then got the better of Spurs 1-0 as well. So yeah, I think that if anybody did have any doubts about Thomas Tuchel, I think him beating Spurs probably, the Chelsea supporters who were still hungover from Lampard's departure will probably now get behind Tuchel's back after he did beat Spurs. Now, looking at the game, of course, we started with, I think it looked more like a 3-4-1-2 to me, sort of, with 5 at the back, Reece James starting, which was great to see. I think he put in a good shift as well. And we started the same back three as we did in the previous two games of Azpilicueta, Thiago, Silva and Rudiger, and with Alonso as the left wing back, jorginho, Kovacic continuing their partnership in midfield. And then it looked like Mount was slightly ahead of them, and after that it looked like Werner and Hudson Odoi sort of played as the two strikers, Hudson Odoi on the right and Werner on the left, because that's how we were pressing, and that put Mount in a very unique position, and he had a sublime performance in this game. He was the link between the midfield and the attack, and because of that freedom, not only did he make use of that freedom by getting into spaces so many times, he also created some good goal scoring opportunities for himself as well as for others. And not to mention, he was so crucial in the midfield battle, because of course Spurs lined up with Sissoko, Højbjerg and Ndombele, and we just had a midfield duo of jorginho, Kovacic, who many people aren't convinced by. But I think Mount came in and became that sort of third midfielder as and when required, and that really helped us in midfield. So tactical masterclass from Tuchel, I might say, because he really blew Jose Mourinho out of the water. And of course they were missing Kane, they were missing Reguilon, but they were completely outclassed in this game, and I was really delighted by that result, 100%. And I think that well, of course, moving on to the bad side of things, the Thiago Silva injury, that was really concerning because he was excellent prior to him being taken off as well, stretching once or twice to reach the ball. Even, in fact, that's how he got injured, right? But I think Thiago, it's going to be really hard for us to replace him. So hopefully he's fine. Christensen, of course, well, hats off to him as well. I mean, everyone on Twitter, I mean, you could see, well, scrolling the timeline, and Thiago Silva's injured and everyone's, losing it. They're like, we're gone now, we're finished now. But Andres Christensen came on and he didn't put a foot wrong. I thought he was excellent as well. And so yeah, kudos to the team as a whole. Hudson Odoi, of course, played in a slightly more advanced position and did not play as a right wing back. So I think we've got to get used to this, right? Everybody started thinking that, oh no, Callum Hudson-Odoi is the new Victor Moses and Thomas Tuchel, but no, he's not. I think Tuchel has so many different ideas and he's trying to implement them in this side, as we did see with Hudson-Odoi in this game. And he started as the right wing back in his first 2 games, and then now he comes on and plays up front. So it was real delight to see. I think all in all, a great performance for us. Not much to say really, but commendable efforts from Jorginho, from Kovacic, and of course from Mason Mount, all 3 of whom were excellent, all 3 of whom are hated by each other's. Sort of, if you rate Jorginho Kovacic, then you're not allowed to rate Mount, but if you rate Mount, you're not allowed to rate Jorginho Kovacic on Twitter. Those are the rules. But as of now, those 3 together is probably our best midfield, and they're probably our best players at the moment, especially the takeaway from the Spurs game. So I was really delighted about that. I really hoped that Werner would get a goal in this game, but unfortunately he couldn't. Hudson-Odoi as well had one good chance, but all in all, I think it was a delightful victory, and I think it's so important when we look at the table as well. And we're just 4 points off top 4 now. We're just 4 points off Liverpool. We're just 4 points off the current champions, who did lose at home to Brighton, but that's secondary. So I mean, we've got a lot to look forward to under Thomas Tuchel, and I really hope that we can secure the top 4 spot this season and hopefully go on from there in the next season. But in the short term, of course, we have got Sheffield United coming up. That's going to be a really tough game because they have sort of stabilized the defense of late. Of course, right before they face Chelsea, they've stabilized the defense. So I mean, hopefully we can get the win there and hopefully continue to build on it. But yeah, I think that I think that's about it for this video, isn't it? I mean, a really delightful win, some great performances put in. Actually, I forgot to mention Marcus Alonso had a pretty good performance as well. Unfortunately, didn't get the goal that he always does against Spurs, but it was a good performance nonetheless. So I think it should be really interesting to see how Tuchel involves Chilwell in the upcoming games, because Alonso's been excellent. So I think that's that. And with the game coming up soon, I think we're going to see a lot more rotation from Thomas Tuchel, and hopefully we can get the win there and continue building on this momentum. And of course, I forgot to mention, we did break a couple of records. I think this is the first time that Jose Mourinho has lost 2 consecutive home games in his entire career, after he lost to Liverpool last time out and then losing to us last night. That is an insane stat. And the second one, of course, also relating to Jose Mourinho, is that Thomas Tuchel is the first manager since Jose Mourinho in 2004-05 to have kept 3 consecutive clean sheets in his first 3 games. So that is another stat for you guys. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, you can always leave a like and subscribe down below. We did have a stream. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to join the regular hosts on that stream, but Matthew and Co did a great job on it. Hopefully you guys can join us for the next live streams, and until then, see you guys.